Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with your daily update for the Ethereum Technicals and Solana. For the Ethereum Technicals, price has increased after falling ever so slightly short of support at 2100, now moving above support prior resistance at 2400. Volume supports downwards movement at this point with the strongest volume on these bearish candlesticks just here, particularly this last very short-term low where price did fall ever so slightly short of support. An additional push on this most recent bearish candlestick adds further support to this volume profile. ADX continues to increase with an extreme bearish trend. On balance volume previously finding resistance at this new resistance line. RSI neutral and increasing with some quite strong bullish divergence where RSI makes these higher points while price closes lower. Money flow also neutral and increasing for the very short term, additionally with the same bullish divergence. As we see this bullish divergence on both RSI and money flow, there is additional strength to the divergence. ATR increasing for the very short term after price found its most recent low, falling just short of support at 2100, giving a slight bullish outlook for volatility. And as this trend indicated by ADX is extreme, it may end at some point soon, though it may also continue to where RSI and money flow exhibit double bullish divergence and or enter oversold, while ADX may reach very extreme conditions. On the Solana daily chart, this wave count sees primary wave 4 complete at this last low just here, with price now increasing for the end of primary wave 5 and cycle wave 3. Cycle wave 3 has a target calculated at 2887, which is the 11.09 extreme Fibonacci ratio between that and cycle wave 1. And within primary wave 5, minute wave 2 within minor wave 1 of intermediate wave 1 is labeled complete at this last low just here. If it wants to continue any lower, it cannot move below the start of primary wave 5 at 111.4255. This Elliott channel drawn around primary wave 4 from the beginning of intermediate wave W to the end of intermediate wave X with a copy on the end of intermediate wave W. We can see where price has found resistance at the upper edge twice just here for the end of minute wave 1 and then minuet wave B within minute wave 2. As price is now expected to overall continue upwards, a break above this channel with a full green candlestick above and not touching would add confidence to this wave count, seeing the upwards movement to continue, particularly for minute wave 3. And above that, a high above 193.6182 would add further confidence to this wave count, as it is the invalidation for the alternate, which you will see in a minute. And additionally, it would break the pattern of lower lows and lower highs as shown throughout primary wave 4. This daily alternate chart sees primary wave 4 incomplete to continue lower, currently within the very early stages of subminuet wave 3 within minuet wave 3 of minute wave 3. That is within minor wave C of intermediate wave Y to continue lower. A target range is calculated for the minor and intermediate degree movements between 95 and 84 as shown here. 95.3167 is the 1.618 logarithmic Fibonacci ratio of minor wave A, which is our target for minor wave C, and below that 84.7439 is the 1.618 logarithmic Fibonacci ratio of intermediate wave W, which is our target for intermediate wave Y. This gives a range for where these waves may be labeled complete. As price continues lower, this best fit channel drawn around primary wave 4 is expected to provide support, and an additional low below 111.4255 would add confidence to this wave count, as it is the invalidation for the main wave count, and it would see minute wave 3 moving below the end of minute wave 1, as shown here. As price continues, if price continues upwards, then minute wave 2 may find resistance at the upper edge of this best fit channel just here, though if it continues above that, it cannot move above the start of minute wave 1 at 193.6182. And as it continues lower, primary wave 4 cannot move into primary wave 1 price territory at 26.4105. On the technical daily chart for Solana, price has increased ever so slightly after finding support around 127 with this bullish engulfing pattern just here. Volume supports downwards movement for the very short term with the strongest volume on these bearish candlesticks, though for the mid-term volume is strongest on the bullish sessions, particularly these last points just here, seeing volume support upwards movement overall at this time frame. On balance volume has no new range, though it does have this brief support line here with these two tests, where on balance volume may continue to find support. ADX continues with a bearish trend that is not yet extreme, though it is getting ever so slightly closer to reaching extreme conditions. This does expect price to continue lower. RSI neutral and increasing, getting quite close to the middle of the neutral territory with quite a bit of room before it may enter overbought and a bit before it may enter oversold. Money flow has declined very steeply recently, hovering around the lower edge, almost entering oversold, though it is not quite yet oversold. ATR has declined as price consolidates briefly, though a slight increase as price increases for the very short term sees a slight bullish outlook for volatility at this time frame. And as this trend indicated by ADX is not yet extreme, it does expect price to continue lower to where ADX may reach extreme or very extreme conditions, while RSI and money flow may enter oversold and or exhibit some divergence before the trend may be in danger of ending. That's all for me with your daily update for Solana and the Ethereum technicals. As always, if you do want the Ethereum Elliott Wave count, we do an update for that once a week at pureelliottwave.com. You can sign up for that using the link in the description below. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good weekend.